This video has been the bane of my life. If it could go wrong, it did go wrong. Please work this time. Hi folks, and welcome to the second in this series of videos where I talk about my past and some of the key moments in my life that had some sort of profound impact on me. If you've already watched the first part, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it. And if nothing else, perhaps it gives you a bit more of an insight into me, the kind of person I am, and if nothing else, maybe it'll show how I've ended up where I am today. If you've not watched it, then I'll put a link in the description, but I'll also feature it at the end of this video. So if you stick around to the end, it'll be in a box somewhere about there, I'd imagine. As always, a huge thank you to everybody who's taken part in this journey with me. I'm having some amazing conversations both on here and on Facebook. That's my really subtle way of telling you I've started a Facebook page to go along with this channel. It's just another way to communicate with you. I'll be using it for blogs, to post pictures, and just other forms of communicating that don't really fit in with the video format. Folks, if you are enjoying the videos, please, if you don't mind, could you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell for future notifications of any new uploads. You may have noticed in the last video that I'm skinnier and taller. I apologise, I'd been messing about with my camera before I started filming and forgot to reset it. Please bear with me over the next couple of videos because I never noticed until I recorded all of these videos. I did re-record them when I noticed, but it started to sound scripted and really insincere, so I've decided just to stick with the originals even though the format's not correct. I hope you understand. Anybody who subscribed to my channel prior to me making these videos may have noticed that I've removed all of my fun videos, like me as the village people doing YMCA, me as a Jedi with lightning between my hands, things like that. I just felt that it was inappropriate having funny videos on this channel just now. What do you think? If you agree with me that taking them down was a good idea, please let me know. But also, if you liked them and you thought they were a good idea to have them up there, please say that too. And lastly, I'm about to talk about a retailer I worked for when I was younger. You'll notice I don't say them by name at any point during the video. I do that for a number of reasons, but primarily I don't want any repercussions from this video. The video is about how I couldn't cope with certain situations, not necessarily about the company. So if you did know me back then and you know the company I'm talking about, please, if you don't mind, don't mention them by name in the comments. If you do, I'll have to delete the comment and I don't want to have to do that. I hope you understand. So here goes. Enjoy the video. So I leave school and enter the world of work. I worked in practically every shop in Glasgow at some point. Started in Teamster Tops, all these other retail shops. Then I went to work for quite a well-known electric goods supplier. They had very strict training and rules about how to sell stuff. And I worked there for about 3 years and honestly can say that it wasn't nice. I enjoyed selling things. If you come in looking for a really nice state-of-the-art television, I will sell you the best one that you can afford. That wasn't company policy. I could spend all day talking about different things that happened in this store, but there are 2 points that shook me to my core. As with so many companies out there, they ran an employee of the month scheme, and there was this month where a member of staff was awarded some sort of monetary reward and given a certificate to say he was employee of the month because his own brother had come in with £1,000 to buy this Hewlett-Packard PC that he'd seen advertised. He left the store with a top of the range £5,500 PC, a printer, some software, and a 5-year credit agreement. His own brother ripped him off for the better part of £4,000 and tied him into a credit agreement with insurance on a computer that we knew was going to be out of date within the year because we had all been to the Hewlett-Packard conference where they showed all the new PCs that were coming out. But this guy didn't care. His own brother turned up with £1,000 and left in £5,000 worth of debt. I had to stand and applaud for this person. The other time that I remember so vividly was during the Christmas period. The company I worked for was really clever, but also really sleek. Over the year, they had been bulk buying PlayStations from Sony because they knew that come Christmas, Sony PlayStation, the first one, that's how long ago we're talking, would be the big seller. We had a stockroom with literally thousands of PlayStations in it. And yet, in October and November, we were telling people that we were sold out. We knew that we had the biggest stock of Sony PlayStations in Glasgow, but weren't selling them. Because the minute December hit, an ad went into the local press saying PlayStations from £99. There's even a wee cut out line round the ad so that you could bring the ad in and get your £99 PlayStation. What nobody knew at the time was the company were making special boxes that you could put the PlayStation in and put 4 games in a joypad, 2 games in a joypad, 1 game in a memory card. And it was also so that they could sell them for higher prices. Yes, a Sony PlayStation was £99. We weren't allowed to sell just a Sony PlayStation. You had to sell it with a minimum of 2 games, possibly another joypad, and don't forget that £180 insurance. At the run up to Christmas, it was decided that only 3 members of staff could sell PlayStations to the general public. Unfortunately, I was picked. Not because of my ruthless nature, but because I was really good at selling fast. But the only problem was, there was a rule in place. I was allowed to do it as long as I got them to take the bumper packages. So Joe Bloggs would come in and say, "Hiya, I've got my voucher for the Sony PlayStation and I've got my £99. And my job was to go, "Oh man, I'm sorry. As you can imagine, the £99 PlayStations have ran out. All we've got are these bundle packs." And then I would show them a box that was made by the company I worked for to look like a Sony PlayStation box with 2 extra games and a joypad. And that one was £200 or that one was £150 or just getting more out of the customer. And it was working for a while. Then this wee boy appears. I knew the minute I saw this wee boy that it was going to go wrong for me. He walked straight up to me with a bag, and it was obvious he'd been saving up. His mum stood and he said, "Can I have a PlayStation, please? I've got my money." I looked this young boy in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, we've got none left. But can your mum possibly give you the extra money? Because we've still got the one with 2 games in it." I found the cheapest one. It would have been about £150 instead of the £100. The mum obviously didn't have any money and asked if there was anywhere else in Glasgow that she could possibly go, because he'd been saving up all year and it was dead important to him. I'm standing 40 feet from a stockroom that's got 1,000 PlayStations in it, and I couldn't let this wee boy go because I knew he wouldn't get a PlayStation anywhere else. So I went through the back, took one of the PlayStations out of the box that we had made, took it to the cash desk and told the cashier just to put it through in my name. The wee boy was ecstatic, he left, his mum was dead thankful, and everybody was dead happy. Then the cashier told my boss. I was taken through the back and given quite the stern telling off. I was told I'd done the customer a disservice, and if the PlayStation broke and that wee boy didn't have a PlayStation, it was my fault. I was then told I wasn't allowed to sell any more PlayStations and told to go back to my own section. I went back through the front and told as many people as I could the lie that this shop had been perpetuating, and people refused to pay the money. Just for one day, people refused to pay the money. My manager wasn't happy. A couple of months later, I was given the option of leaving voluntarily or being sacked because a camcorder had gone missing. The worst, most terrible end-of-line camcorder in the whole department went missing, and I get the blame because I was the head of photographic. And the fact that I wouldn't have touched this camcorder with a barge pole because it was hideous meant nothing. We had a camcorder on display that was that size called the Sony PC1. It was state of the art. It was £1,500 and odd, and you could fit it in your inside pocket. If I was going to steal a camcorder, I'd have stole that one. This £300 rubbish camcorder went missing, and my manager accused me of stealing it. But it never stuck because they never had any evidence. A couple of days later, I was going for my lunch. As I went to leave the building, my manager called me back in, stating that there was a new security procedure in place and anybody leaving the building had to submit to a body search. I did. And I had a Celine Dion mini disc in my pocket. We all had mini discs. If somebody asked you to hear a mini disc player, you pulled out the disc and stuck it on for them. It was just something we all carried. It went back onto display at the end of every single night, but it was my lunch. I wanted to get out. I wanted to get food, so I hadn't put it back. Put the disc back, went for lunch and come back. The next day, my manager handed me a letter saying that I had to attend a disciplinary hearing in a different office because I had attempted to steal the Celine Dion mini disc. The short version is that after a 2-week suspension on full pay, I had to sit and be interrogated for an hour about why I'd stolen a mini disc, how many I'd stolen in the past, had I stolen anything more expensive, was this a lead on or a test to try and see what you can get out, who was I meeting to give the mini disc to. It was a witch hunt, and by the end of the interview I was exhausted. So I just asked, am I getting the sack today? And was told that they don't like the idea of putting sacked on anybody's permanent record, so they were going to give me the opportunity to leave. This was just another example in my life where being good and honest didn't pay off. I didn't like ripping people off. I liked selling people stuff. If you want a TV, I'll sell you a TV. If you want a computer, I'll sell you a computer. But I'm not going to go, you know what? You need a 3D scanner, a new monitor, and a blood transfusion to go with that. Because that's practically what this company was asking for. Do you know, at one point, I get a verbal warning for not selling my dad the insurance on a PlayStation. My dad was buying a PlayStation from my mum, came to me for advice, and I said, come in, I'll give you my staff discount. When I was putting the sale through, my manager came up and asked me what games my dad had been taking. And I said, none, it's just the PlayStation. And he went, so I take it he's taking the insurance. And I said, no, that's okay. He sent another member of staff up to try and sell my dad the insurance while I'm talking to my dad. I told the guy to go away. I sold my dad the PlayStation. My manager was so polite to my dad, wishing him all the best and hope that you get many hours of joy out of the PlayStation. The minute my dad left, I get taken through the back and was given a disciplinary hearing and given a verbal warning for failing to meet the customer's needs. This guy then tried to guilt me by saying that it would be my fault when the PlayStation breaks down and my mum has got no PlayStation to play with. How will I feel at the fact that my dad's got to pay out for another PlayStation? The insurance for the PlayStation was more expensive than the PlayStation. So in my head, I've saved my dad money. But that's not the way the company worked. And that's why I'm not there anymore. When I was younger and growing up, going to school every day, my dad would say the exact same thing every single day, and it stays with me to this very day. He would say, have a good day, that you love me, and be good, be careful, and work hard. So I did. I went to school. I was good. I was as nice as I could be to people. I worked as hard as I could. And I was careful. I've done that every day in my life. Years later, my dad would tell me that he regretted instilling that in me. Because in the real world, good people are trodden on, good people are taken advantage of, and good people suffer. As much as I disagree with it, I accept it. That is the way of the world. Over the years, I've been passed over for promotions by people less qualified, people who aren't as invested in the company they work for. Very recently I got passed over promotion, and the guy who got it openly admitted that he was only using it to get another job. Didn't even like the role that he was applying for, but he knew it would get him to the next one. It happens every day. My dad regrets saying be good, be careful and work hard, but I believe that you should be good, careful and work hard. In my opinion, and this is probably why I'm in the situation I'm in, it's not me that's broke, it's the rest of the world. Every day, somebody who deserves praise doesn't get it because somebody else is louder, more flamboyant, and just craves the attention more. And that's horrible. And that's what I have problems dealing with a lot of the time. I really like me. I like the dad I've became. I like the partner I am to Laura. I like 99.9% of what it is to be Terry McEwan. Just now my head's not in the right place, but that can get fixed. That's the point of these videos. So for the record, Dad, you weren't wrong. I am a good, careful and hardworking man, and it's because you made me be that person, and I thank you for it. And the reason I know you're right is because I'm doing the exact same with my daughter. Layla gets told be good, be careful and work hard, but she also gets told about the real world. That's the only difference. And to be honest, that's a bit heartbreaking. So that was that. Folks, as always, thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe and hit that bell for future notifications of all uploads. In my next video I talk about my move from retail into the world of call centres. Quite naively I thought it would be different, but that's for the next video. Guys, have a great day. It's glorious out there, and I don't just mean the weather. Find something that makes you happy, that makes you smile, or help somebody that needs support. It makes you feel better inside, and it makes this whole thing worthwhile. And if there's anybody you know that might benefit from seeing any of these videos, please let them know about them. That's the whole point of them. I want to get my message out there. I want as many people to see these as they can in the hope that it helps somebody. And as always, if you've got any questions, please let me know. Take care guys, chat soon.